There is a dangerous illusion most people live under every single day. They believe peace will come when life finally becomes easier, when the problems disappear, when the pressure fades, when the world around them becomes calm. But that moment never comes, because life was never designed to be calm. There will always be pressure, unexpected problems, conflicts with other people, moments of uncertainty that shake your confidence. And if your inner stability depends on the external world becoming quiet, you will spend your entire life waiting. But Stoic philosophy discovered something powerful more than 2,000 years ago. Peace does not come from controlling the chaos around you. It comes from mastering the mind within you. Welcome to Master Your Mind. This is the place where ancient philosophy becomes practical psychological strength, where we explore Stoic wisdom, mental discipline, and the mindset required to remain calm, focused, and powerful in a chaotic world. Today we are going to explore 10 timeless Stoic principles that can completely transform the way you respond to life. These are not abstract philosophical ideas. They are mental training protocols that teach you how to remain steady under pressure, how to control emotional reactions, and how to build the kind of inner strength that no external circumstance can easily break. Because the truth is this: most people are not destroyed by life itself. They are destroyed by their reactions to life. The Stoics understood that the difference between a fragile mind and a resilient one is not intelligence, talent, or even luck. It is discipline. The discipline to control what happens inside your mind when the outside world becomes unpredictable. And this begins with something many people never stop to consider: purpose. Imagine a ship sailing across a vast ocean without a destination. Every change in the wind pushes it in a different direction. Every wave determines where it goes. Without a destination, the ship has no control over its journey. This is exactly what life looks like without a clear internal purpose. You become reactive to everything around you: other people's opinions, unexpected setbacks, emotional impulses, short-term pleasures that slowly pull you away from who you truly want to become. But the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that a person with a clear purpose becomes almost impossible to destabilize. Because purpose functions like a compass in the middle of chaos, difficulties no longer feel like random suffering. They become part of the journey. Epictetus once said that difficulties reveal a person's character, and the greater the difficulty, the greater the opportunity to demonstrate strength. This means that obstacles are not interruptions to your path. They are the path. But discovering a true purpose is not something that happens automatically. It requires deep reflection. You have to ask yourself questions that most people avoid. What do you truly stand for? What values are strong enough that you would continue living by them even when life becomes uncomfortable? What kind of person do you want to become when everything around you is uncertain? Purpose is not simply about career success or material achievement. It is about identifying the principles that will guide your decisions when life becomes difficult. Once this purpose becomes clear, something powerful begins to happen inside you. Challenges lose their ability to overwhelm you. Because instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin asking a different question: "How does this help me become stronger?" And that small shift in perspective changes everything. Because when your purpose becomes stronger than your discomfort, your resilience begins to grow. And this is only the beginning of the Stoic transformation. One of the next principles the Stoics taught is even more powerful. It is the understanding that your emotional reactions are not automatic. They are trained. And once you understand how this works, you begin to realize that control over your mind is far greater than you were ever taught to believe. One of the most powerful discoveries the Stoics made is this: your emotions are not created by events. They are created by your interpretation of events. This idea alone can completely change the way you experience life. When someone criticizes you, the words themselves are not what disturb you. What disturbs you is the meaning you attach to them. If you believe the criticism defines your worth, it will hurt. If you see it as information, it becomes neutral. And if you see it as ignorance or misunderstanding, it loses its power entirely. Epictetus explained this with remarkable clarity. He said that what disturbs people is not things themselves, but the judgments they make about those things. This means that between every event and your reaction, there is a small but powerful space, And inside that space lies something extraordinary: choice. Most people never learn to use that space. They react instantly. Someone insults them, they react with anger. Someone disagrees with them, they react with defensiveness. Something unexpected happens, they react with anxiety. But the Stoics trained themselves to pause, because every time you resist the urge to react impulsively, you strengthen something extremely important: your mental discipline. Think of it like building a muscle. The first time you resist reacting emotionally, it feels difficult, but every repetition makes you stronger. Over time, the same situations that once triggered frustration, anger, or anxiety begin to lose their emotional intensity. Your mind becomes steadier. And this is where another crucial Stoic principle enters: guarding your mind. Imagine allowing anyone who passes by on the street to walk freely into your home, rearranging your furniture, leaving garbage behind, creating chaos inside your personal space. You would never allow that. Yet many people allow the mental equivalent of this every single day: negative opinions, online comments, toxic conversations, constant streams of distracting information. All of it enters their mind without any filter. And slowly, it begins to shape their emotional state. The Stoics believed that protecting your mind is just as important as protecting your body. Your attention is one of the most valuable resources you possess. Where you place it determines the direction of your life. This is why controlling your environment matters. The books you read, the people you spend time with, the conversations you participate in, the information you allow into your mind every day. All of these influences quietly shape your thinking, and over time they shape your character. The Stoics understood that if you want a strong mind, you must be intentional about what you expose your mind to, because the mind absorbs what it repeatedly experiences. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, distraction, and superficial thinking, your mind becomes scattered. But when you surround yourself with ideas that challenge you, conversations that expand your perspective, and people who value growth and discipline, your thinking becomes sharper. Your emotional stability becomes stronger, and slowly, something begins to happen. External events lose their ability to control your internal state, because the more disciplined your mind becomes, the less influence chaos has over you. But even with discipline, life will still present moments that test your emotional strength. Criticism, offenses, conflict with other people. And the Stoics developed powerful strategies for handling those moments without losing control of themselves. Because true mental mastery is not about avoiding difficult situations, it is about learning how to remain steady in the middle of them. And when you begin applying this philosophy consistently, something remarkable begins to happen. The situations that once triggered emotional reactions start becoming opportunities for growth. Opportunities to strengthen patience, to strengthen awareness, and to strengthen the kind of inner stability that most people spend their entire lives searching for. But the Stoics went even deeper than emotional control. They understood that one of the greatest sources of human suffering is something almost everyone experiences: fear. And the way you understand fear can determine whether it controls your life or strengthens your character. It silently influences decisions, limits potential, and keeps many people trapped inside lives far smaller than the ones they were capable of building. But the Stoics saw fear in a completely different way. They understood that fear rarely comes from the event itself. It comes from the meaning we assign to that event. Epictetus explained that what frightens us is not the situation we face, but the story our mind creates about what that situation might mean. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of embarrassment, fear of losing control. All of these are projections of the mind. And once you understand this, something important becomes clear. Fear loses much of its power the moment you begin examining it rationally. Instead of avoiding what scares you, the Stoics encouraged people to confront it directly, to ask simple but powerful questions. What exactly am I afraid of? What is the worst realistic outcome? And if that outcome happens, will I truly be unable to handle it? More often than not, when fear is broken down logically, it becomes far less intimidating, because the unknown is always more frightening than reality. This is why Stoic philosophy encourages something called voluntary exposure to difficulty. not reckless behavior, but intentional growth. Every time you face something uncomfortable, you expand your capacity to handle pressure. Every time you step into uncertainty instead of avoiding it, your confidence grows. And over time, something extraordinary begins to develop: inner strength. This strength does not come from controlling the world around you. It comes from mastering how you respond to the world. The Stoics understood that life will always contain uncertainty. Unexpected problems will appear. People will misunderstand you. Plans will fail. But none of those events determine the quality of your life. Your response does. And this is why they place so much emphasis on one fundamental principle: focus on what you can control. You cannot control the opinions of others. You cannot control random events. You cannot control the past. But you can control your character, your discipline, your perspective, your actions in the present moment. And when you begin focusing your energy on what truly belongs to you, something powerful happens. Your mind becomes quieter, your decisions become clearer, and the emotional turbulence that once controlled your life begins to fade. Because the truth is this: a calm mind is not the result of a calm world. It is the result of disciplined thinking. The Stoics practiced this discipline daily. They reflected on their actions. They examined their emotions. They trained themselves to pause before reacting. They reminded themselves constantly that external events do not control their inner state unless they allow it. And slowly, through this practice, they built something most people never develop: unshakable tranquility. The kind of inner stability that remains firm even when life becomes unpredictable. And this is exactly what the journey of self-mastery is about. Not escaping life's challenges, but becoming the kind of person who can face them with clarity, strength, and control. If you are serious about developing this kind of mindset, about transforming philosophy into practical mental discipline that strengthens how you think, act, and lead your life, then the Master Your Mind program was created for exactly this purpose. Inside the program, you will learn how to develop emotional control, mental clarity, and the psychological discipline required to remain strong in a chaotic world. You'll find the link in the description. And if this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and stay committed to the path of self-mastery. I'll see you in the next video.